Welcome, beloved, to this edition of Here, Oh Yah. Is I is or is I ain't? Your brother, Gidon Ben Yasharal. Where's all the children at? Hurry up, and get them children. Where's Big Mama? Where's Pawpaw? Go out into the highways and the byways and bring all the kinfolk around the television set. Why? Because we have a special. That's right, we have a special program designed specifically with you in mind. But of course, the views and opinions expressed are those of me, a poor colored country boy, cotton picker, by way of Israel, and not those of Comcast, their management, advertisers, or affiliates, as well as the panelists that Yah has said. Oh, and there is a mature verbiage alert. That's right, because we deal with mature subject matter, and sometimes it makes you want to cuss. Today's program title is The Council of Elders. The Council of Elders. And somebody counseled the air conditioning man to cut the air on. You know what I'm talking about? What do we mean by the Council of Elders? In this country, there is a government that has been forced upon us based on slavery, oppression, white supremacy, and white privilege. The European mandate for world domination has not been thwarted because they feel as long as they kill off the woolly-haired melanated people of the earth, they got some new niggers now. They can just take this thing over and do what they want to do when what they want to do is destroy it, because that's what they are doing. The air, the water, the earth itself is reeling to and fro with the toxicity of the present generation and this administration and this governing body. Well, the Council of Elders is something that the Creator, Yah himself, established years ago when he created his people out of a people and began with Abraham, who begot Isaac, Isaac who begot Jacob, and Jacob who had 12 sons, the children of Yah. These individuals have established themselves in the earth, and because of their disobedience to the Creator's mandate, we have been punished as a people right now, languishing in the hells of North America and really all over the planet, because our plight is not different no matter where you go on the planet, we as a people, and it's all spiritual. But for me, I have always had an idea that our people have a unique purpose. Even in high school, I wore the colors of what I considered to be my African heritage. And growing up in McDonough, Georgia, down in the country, I was always motivated not only to know my culture, but I've always been surrounded around beautiful women. And you know, it's been a tremendous blessing for me. And the Most High, for whatever reason, has done it and made it so. Because when I was in McDonough, down in the country, down there on Walker Road, I used to walk 7 miles one way for the most beautiful young lady. It was Country Mile. Her name, Brenda Carter. Skin so dark and black and chocolatey, most beautiful smile. But them 7 miles meant nothing, because when I got there, I know who I'd see. But it wasn't the Most High's will for me to marry her. I left the country and came to the city. And lo and behold, Southwest Atlanta, once again, surrounded around some of the most beautiful women on the planet. Woo! I mean, Andy Young's beautiful daughter, Lisa Young, you know, Sean Garrison, Fawn Shelton, Rita Time, I mean, the name goes on and on to the break of dawn. Most beautiful, pampered young ladies on the planet, where their mothers and fathers had made extra care that they would have the best of the best. And that really made an impact on my life. I used to have to walk to school. I was walking like 4-5 miles, and guess what? It didn't mean nothing, because I was going to see some of the most beautiful women at Southwest High School on the planet. And I used to get hugs, and it was therapy. And it made a difference in my life. See, we as a people, we are very affectionate people, called brothers, we used to, soul brother, soul sister. We love each other because the way we have been inculcated, it was tribalism. The colors that we wear, the infusion of our ability to a rhythmic dance, all of this is a part of the genetic code that make the mighty and the holy people the most unique on the planet. But there is some bad seeds among us now. You know what I'm talking about? And as we develop I was just, because I've been around the block a few times, all this gray rat here mean this little age on this old boy rat here. You know what I mean? And as a developer of churches and congregations, look out that chocolate. It is, people talk to me. And one of the interesting things I want to talk about with this powerful panel today is one of the young princes that I've known for many, many years, seen him grow up in the family of believers. But he had a situation where he's developed his family and got, children, offspring. But one of his daughters was touched. But she was touched in an inappropriate way, in an environment that was supposed to have been measured in sanctity and holiness, but these are children. I want to ask your perspective about the sexualized world of America which we live in, where our daughters are some of the most beautiful on the outside, as well as our sons, that the earth has ever seen. But on the inside, are they lacking being raised in an environment of over-sexualization, the pontification of morals decay, and the ability for our people to live in a nation that would incarcerate us, miseducate us, and experiment on us, are the examples that we see, the examples we should be following. Jay-Z and Beyonce are a powerful expression of the American ideal for what our children should and could look like. But I remember a family of believers, again, in the Hebrew community. Once again, I was surrounded by some of the most beautiful women on the planet. I remember I used to go to Bible study because the fine women was up in there. Before we got the world, they were still showing their beautiful bodies, and me too, because I've always been around and this and that. But, as you get older, things start to change. But I remember I heard about my beloved brother Dawid and his beautiful wife Jana. I heard that they left the congregation after over 30-something years of being stalwart believers and dedicated individuals in the belief and the work of the ministry. And when I heard they had left, it hurt me, because when I look at Dawid and Sister Johanna, they are the Beyonce and Jay-Z of the Hebrew community. I know we got a little age on us and all, but his wife was one of the most beautiful sisters inside and out. And Dawid is a very patient individual watching his wife from a distance while she did what she does in the name of Yah, and then came on board. So Dawid, Johanna, we know you love you to have so many beautiful children. I know you are detoxing from the congregational BS, but when you get ready to come back, holler at your peoples over at the congregation of Yahshua, because we love you over there, as we always have. So that brings me again to my conversation about our children in this sexualized world, and how that children can be touched in what can be considered an inappropriate way in an environment where easy access to their reproductive parts are very accessible. We want to talk to this powerful panel. We want to engage in this very interesting, thought-provoking topic, and we want your involvement. To my right, woo, hoo, hoo, you know who she is. Her name reflects a candy, but it is the beautiful Chocolate Deluxe. Peace and blessings, sweetheart.
Hello, everyone.
How you doing?
I'm
Sitting
doing
here on the
good.
panel. You know it's the Most High's will. And to her right, another most beautiful flower. And I don't know her in fact, but I know of her through the beautiful daughter she had brought on the set. Her name is Sister Sandra, or Chandra. Thank you. Welcome to the Hero Yah set. Absolutely. And to your right, another beautiful sister, the daughter of the Creator, and her name is Sister Kelli. Welcome to the Hero Yah set, Sister Kelli. How you doing, sweetheart? Excellent, excellent. And to her right, sitting in the seat where my normal brother Elder Sundown would be sitting, but we got another brother. It's a buck up in here now. We talking about a serious buck, and his name is Brother Buck, and he's about the community. He's about the council. He is also a chaplain of the common good. Welcome to the Hero Yah set, beloved.
Bye, brother.
You know, I want to start with you, Brother Buck. But you know what? I tell you what. Let's start with the women. Because this issue of our daughters in America and their exposure to the abuse of white supremacy, we know slavery has done to us what no other nation, and many other nations are going through the debauchery of white colonialism and their oppressive ways, and child sex slavery and slavery, period, pornography. As Chocolate, let me start with you. As a mother, as a one who, somebody close that door right there for me, who's in the entertainment industry and a beautiful woman expressing your sexuality as a woman in America. How do we protect our daughters as they grow up, and whether it's a church environment, a school environment, where they're being molested and touched inappropriately?
Well, it depends on where the family, it comes from home, really. You have to structure your kids while they're little. Let them know and tell them that it's wrong for someone to touch you, and don't be scared to speak out. So if someone touch you in the inappropriate way, tell somebody. And if they don't listen, tell the next person. But if that person don't listen, go to the police or go to somebody a higher authority that will listen. So,
but let me ask you this in retrospect to that. Suppose it's children, let's say 6, 10, children at play, and in those children's mind, they may have seen videos and everything, they're playing. But maybe one child decided to stick his hand inside another child's, because you don't know what children are seeing at home. How do you deal with children in that respect?
Well, me being a mother, I already tell my daughters to not let no one touch you beneath your body parts. If they do, that's violation, because you're still a child. Should no one be touching you improperly. So if someone violates your space, protect yourself. It's not wrong for you to pick up a bottle and knock a person out with that bottle. And that's what I tell my kids. Either jump the person or beat them up. Find something. Don't let nobody violate your space. So that's what I teach my kids, because, even down to little kids, like they play, even though they play certain way. Like I remember back in the days, they used to play this game called Hide and Go Get It.
Oh, it was a hide and go seek when I was coming
yeah,
up.
Yeah, it was called
hide and go get it.
Yeah, no, it was the same.
Oh,
it was the same. It was,
yeah. Somebody Irish me up on there. Okay,
yeah.
go ahead.
So it was a game called Hide and Go Get It. If you get it, you get tagged, you the person that's supposed to give up the goods. I never played that growing up because I was a tomboy, so they tried to come get me. Oh, they called me the animal growing up because I was a terrorist. I was a little baby terrorist growing up, but now I'm just playing. Y'all, now I'm so serious. I'm laughing. But yeah.
Tell the truth.
I'm telling the truth. Shame the devil. Tell the truth. But anyway, I was a little bully. Put it like this. I was a bully that protected the weak. If someone violated another person, I protected them. Just like I had a little midget friend growing up in school. She was so short, but she just looked like a little baby. So people used to pick on her a lot. So by me, even though I was short too, I still took up for her. And I was known in school for beating up boys and yes, I did. I beat up little boys because I ain't like y'all growing up, because now I know why. because y'all ain't about nothing sometimes. But anyway, but getting back to the topic, basically you got to teach your kids growing up at the age of 1. Once they start walking, talking, and learning how to do stuff, that's when you need to tell them what's right and what's wrong. Keep driving them, keep telling them, because my kids, they not gonna let nobody violate them. Somebody touch them, oh yes, they gonna beat them up. My little girl beat up a little boy on the bus, and yes, high up to Samaya, yeah baby, beat him up. Mama got your back. But yeah, and she got in trouble in school, but still, regardless, he should have gotten in trouble for touching her. So at the end of the day, people sometimes award that like it's supposed to be fun, or yeah, it's fun. Go ahead and do it again. Go touch it. Go, and that's what's wrong with these kids now. Cause some of these people that raise their kids now, they teach their sons or daughter that it's okay to go smack somebody on the butt. That's not the way you raise your kids. You teaching your child to be a sex offender already.
Well, now remember now in the athletic arena, they see grown men smacking each other on the behind.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
Were gay. To me, you smacking another man on the butt, something wrong with you. I don't care what you're talking about. I don't care if it's a sport or whatever. Something going on in that neighborhood. Y'all playing in the showers together or something. So y'all need to get together.
Well, let me go to Sister Chandra, because when we look at it in an international perspective, the Creator actually had nations killed off because they were doing things like genital mutilation. Genital mutilation is certain African tribes where they would actually sew up the woman's vagina and mutilate her clitoris because of, I guess, they couldn't trust their daughters. They wanted to make sure wasn't nothing going on. And then in Arab countries and others, there is a lot of anal involvement because they want to try to maintain the sanctity of the vaginal orifice, but still in an environment where we're so sexualized. And our little children, because the young adults, hormones take over. How do we train and protect our little children, girls and boys, in your perspective?
Well, having 2 daughters and a son, from early on, I built a community of trust. The foundation of love, to me, was our basis and our support. And being there for every whimper, every cry, every call, any time of the night, any time of the day, for my children, each one of them was the basis and the foundation for building a support of trust. They knew they were loved, and they knew the trust was there. Communication of any type was always open. Discussions of all types. I mean, and just giving them something to compare their lifestyle to other lifestyles. Like I never knew what was going on in the home of other children, of whom they played with and whomever they came in contact with. But as long as they knew the power of God that we studied in our home, they could begin to pray for others, and whatever disease or whatever wrongs that came from that child, it would be a defense already in place that they believed and that they put there because of the words they spoke, and that power that we just had to believe in, that my kids knew something ain't right or something ain't, and then those kids knew not to violate because of the trust system, and they could come back to mommy and say, hey mommy, how do I handle this? Or mommy, my friend said this, or whatever, and then mommy could say, this is how you handle that, because I couldn't always be at in every classroom with them because I had to work, but those were just things that they could carry, the strengths that they could carry with them wherever they went and whoever they came in contact with, and knowing, not to be violated, not to let anybody violate them, but if anything was said or if anything was came up that would step over that guard that was around them, they would know to come to me and talk about it, or go to another adult and talk about it in the event that I wasn't there. But I think that love is the foundation for everything from birth, and I think that builds a security, and then that builds a trust where your children are able to come to you and talk to you about anything and about everything, and there are no secrets. I mean, even to this day, I mean, I have that security with even my son now, who is a young man and out here in this world trying to figure out a lot of things right now, but he still always come back to that foundation. I mean, and I know of a scripture where, you know, that you will leave the nest, you will leave, and you might even stray, but you're going to always come back to that foundation, to that first love, and that's that foundation that comes from the love of God, that you'll come back to in search of whatever it is you might run into out there in these streets.
Well, let me ask you some practical questions too. One, do you think that the breakdown of the marriage itself, and men in particular not being in many of our homes, has an impact? And two, the dress, because in my generation, older, you know, women used to wear petticoats, women used to wear girdles, women used to wear protective gear, where the man, if he was going to have trouble gaining access. Today we have none of those restraints, but you have easy access, philosophically speaking, to what men would want in that regard. What about those two components, dress as well as marriage in particular?
Well, yeah, I mean, you always say the man, you know, the breakdown of the marriage or whatever. My dad was never married to my mother, but my dad was always present in my life. And my dad always told me, even when I had my first child, he told me from early on, daddy's maybe, mama's baby. That's your child. So from that being said, I knew then all I needed was the love of my Father in heaven to do anything for my child. Now, it was his responsibility or his decision, the father, to be a part of that child's life. If he chose not to, that was not going to be a breakdown from any of my children. I'm going to supply whatever they need because I have the strength of my Father and I have the knowledge of where I could go for any information that I need to raise my daughter, to raise my son with balance. Because I know that if it's not a balance, then it's going to be an abomination. So we're going to have that balance, and I got to go get that balance as the leader and the head of my home. So with that being said, and explaining that to my children, you know, then they will grow up in that knowledge to know, okay, let me be level-headed and let me seek the same source of what mom got her information from so that I can carry this same knowledge. I don't care if you're 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You know, when you're 5 years old, you know how to read, you know how to go pray. When you're 6 years old, you know how to read, you know how to go pray, because God can speak to me just like he can speak to you. And that's the way, you know, I think of that part. Now, as far as the dressing is concerned, you know, there's this, you know, the thing about the women, you know, being dressed, I want to say not discreet, there's another word.
Sexualized. You know, y'all got equipment and it's exposed, and men, you know, you look sexy. Guess what? Men think about what?
But we dress for
Sex.
ourselves.
Well,
we don't dress to entertain other people. We dress for
I
ourselves
think
to make us look good.
There's a way, the way you carry yourself, a person is going to know whom they can touch and whom they cannot touch. I know, you know, I like to wear sexy clothes, so to speak. I'm not going to walk around here in a petticoat and a girdle and all that kind of stuff either. But a man is going to know how to respect me when he sees me, and because of how I carry myself. And now there are women out here. I don't know if it, you know, I can assume it started in the home, but I do believe too. You know, I know people that came from good homes, but they develop certain habits and ways that they pick up on their own outside of their parents' good instruction, and they'll go out there and carry themselves with what they see, you know. But it's just to me all about how an individual, how a young lady carries herself. You know, there's nothing wrong with women wearing shorts. There's nothing wrong with women wearing low-cut shirts or anything. But I think it's how you carry yourself. And then when a young man begin to talk to you, from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So he's going to know exactly what he's dealing with, and he's going to know, well, that's not the one that I need to be around here trying to touch or feel on or whatever. To me, that's how I've taught my children.
You know, hold on, sweetheart. Hold on. Kelli, you know, it's interesting because in today's society, again, the focus here is children, small children. Small children are going to experiment as they, in this particular instance, a small, relatively small young man in a setting or environment where children were playing, had a smaller young girl, and he put his hand inside her panties. And when her mother was, cleaning, she saw, because she kept saying, I had a problem with my pocket. And when he said his mother checked, he saw a little scratch there. And she hadn't come because she said they thought they were playing, And so I would ask you, Kelli, as a young girl, I mean, we all have had experiences, obviously, when you grow up with your relatives in bed, parties, whatever. But as a young girl, and how would you say young girls need to protect themselves from being touched inappropriately?
Just don't try to prevent people from, guys touching you, in a way, in a wrong way. Mm-hmm. In a wrong way, I guess. Mm-hmm. And, if they try to, because some guys are aggressive or, disrespectful, so just let them know, up front, how the kind of female you are and the kind of girl you are, because if you don't, then they'll just think it's okay if you don't say anything, and that's stay your ground.
Now, but again, we're talking about children. I don't know if you're a mother, and many of the new generation, they don't have fathers around. Children are being brought. Children are going to play, and they at varying ages. Again, whether it's a church environment, school environment, you have children intermixing. Protection for the Hebrew community has normally been separation of the males from the females. And that's how and then of course with the dress, petticoats, and other things. Because children are going to play. And you young girls can be just as aggressive and physical as young males. And especially if they've had a household that is highly sexualized. So again, as a young lady, I don't know if you have children, what would you think would be your strategy if in fact you do have children to protect your son as well as your daughter? Or is that part of the developmental process of children?
I really wouldn't know how to answer that question until I have kids.
Well, that's an excellent answer, sweetheart. Let me go to my beloved brother Buck. And we're going to go to him, and I want you to give, because then we're going to, I haven't forgotten the scripture. I'm coming back to it, because we got a beautiful, and I do mean beautiful, young lady that's going to be entertaining us. But Brother Buck, you've heard, and you've got a chance as an elder and sitting in this council to hear the lamentation of our people. I don't know if you're a father, if you have children. How do we protect our young daughters from understanding about sex, sexuality, and inappropriate touching?
To begin with, I'd like to thank the Most High for allowing me to be here in this council with you today and in the presence of these beautiful young ladies. Everyone who hears my name is Buck, B-U-C. It stands for Building Universal Consciousness. My actual name is Yonah El, and so we honor the same spiritual father. I not only raised my own children, I also raised a number of other people's children because I had a performing arts center for about 15 years. We had daycare, we had after-school programs, we had summer camp. And so when I look at the situation and I hear what these young ladies are saying about raising children, what I think of not only is what I experienced raising my own children, but what I experienced raising other people's children. And before I go into that, the first thing I'd like to do is make sure that people understand that by no means should we ever disparage the ability of a single mother to raise a healthy, intelligent, competent human being. Now, if you doubt that, our president, a melanin-rich brother, was raised by a single mother. So we need to always keep that in mind, that there's nothing wrong with a single parent raising a child. It is better if they're both there, but it doesn't mean that they can't do what's needed. Now, everything I heard them saying, what I didn't hear them speaking about was peer pressure and also the effect of group dynamics. Now, in those situations where we had children in our studio, there were at any given time as many as 100 students together, boys and girls of different ages, playing in different settings. And monitoring them and watching what they would do, no matter how you teach that child, no matter what you explain to that individual boy or girl, when they're with other boys and girls their own age, and they're experimenting, and they're doing things, you're not there. You may be there in their mind, and you know they understand what you taught them. But right now, they're their own person. And they're going to do things based on what those other children their ages, get with them. Now, I'm not saying that that works for every student, but we have to look at the group, all of the ones that are there. Now, I'm telling you what I know from experience, from watching this happen in the group, sitting back, watching when they didn't know I was there, and watching things that happen. Now, there are some children who will instantly break and run. They will not allow something to happen. A lot of them are aggressive, and they don't care. They'll push on. And then there are those that are in the middle that are waiting to try to learn and determine what's happened. With these ladies, I hear you saying about being connected with your child and everything, and I get that. But if you're going to tell me that when your daughter lost her virginity, she said, Mama, I'm getting ready to lose my virginity, or if your son went out and said, hey, I'm out here doing this wild thing, they grow up and they do their thing. So in terms of protecting them, the best that you can do is just what they said. Give them that instruction. But the next thing is that we need what we're talking about right now, the council of the elders, the other people, the other adults, not just you alone, but the other adults doing the same thing. And them also coming to the table and giving that counsel to their children. Because if you do it to your child, no one else does it to theirs, your child's at a disadvantage because they're out there fighting this battle alone when everybody else is against them. And they want to be a part of that group because they're growing up in that generation. It's different from ours, just as your generation is different from mine. But I respect what you're doing and everything in that setting. So when we talk about how we need to work, it is, again, a community something. It's a community setting. We have to get together as a people and understand this is something that we all need to work on together. When that sister's doing what she needs to do, I need to support her in everything she says in my family and in her family. And we all need to be able to understand that we need to do this together. No one can do it alone. And until we start doing that, we're going to continue to have problems in our community.
I think we have a phone call, and this is a momentous occasion because this is the first time we've had a call in quite a while. That means we at least got 5 or 6 people watching the program. Welcome to the Here O Yah program. What is your name, question, or comment? That would be you, caller. Speak.
Sundown, in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, the nurturer, the sustainer, the life giver, the giver of the God of the universe. I greet you in peace and paradise. Assalamu alaikum, shalom alaikum, peace and blessing, my brother, and to the perilous. Now, I want to go back to the sisters that said that they don't dress for us. That's a lie. Women are dressed to attract men. So that's a lie when they say they are dressed to attract men. If she don't dress to attract men, how's she going to get a mate? You understand where I'm coming from? So they do dress for us. But they play these silly little games, brother. Now, righteousness is at the root of all of this. If you are trained righteousness, you will respect yourself and you will respect that woman. Now, brother, also, with the community that we are in, the environment we are in, everybody got their own thing. See, we used to be a unit. We used to look out for one another. But everybody now got their own thing. But it don't mean that you right, because you got your own thing. So if you got your own thing and your children in the house, they're going to come up mischief. They're going to come up devils. As I said to you a while back on the show, we have become black devils, brother, and we don't want to acknowledge it, but I will, because I strive on righteousness every day I wake up. I do right by everybody, even the ones that mistreat me, because I'm not going to let you take me off the path of righteousness with your wicked and corrupt foolishness. See, we need to tell it like it is and stop this BS. Now, I want to talk about Israel. icon was on 89.3 WAR Thursday for 3 hours. I'm going to make it brief.
Okay.
He went back to the history of Palestine. It used to be habitated by the Canaanites, which was dark like us.
Right.
The original peoples of that. The British, along with the Arabs with the oil, helped stole that piece of land and gave it to them Jews, them Europeans. That's what happened. They stole it with the Arabs and the British and gave it to the Jews. See, we need to know the truth, brother. That's another reason why we have so much problem, because we don't know the truth. Me and Brother Anthony Muhammad, we had a powerful conversation this morning.
Well, you know, we appreciate that, Elder Sundown. You float like a butterfly and stinging like a bee. So, but we gotta go. We gotta go on. We got an entertainer, and we've got another call. We'll take this other call. I'm gonna read from the script. We're going to our entertainer, and then we're going back to this powerful panel right here and you. Caller, welcome to the Hero Y'all program. What is your name, question, or comment? Caller.
Yeah, this is Eric. How you doing?
All right, beloved. How are you?
All right. Yeah. I just want to concur with what Chocolate was saying, that you have to really explain to the children that if the grown-up, you know, or the parent is not, if somebody's doing something to the child that the parent is not doing, if the parent is good, and then, you know, if some other person is doing something to that child other than what the parent is doing, then, you know, you should always teach the child that they need to go to the authorities if the parent is not doing anything, you know, if the parent is not a good parent. But what I want to also ask you and your panelists, you know, this Ebola outbreak that's been occurring in Africa, do you think that they might be on the verge of getting a cure for AIDS, and now they want to put another virus or disease out here now to cause another epidemic to where they can decrease the population even further? And that's my question.
All right, excellent question. Let me go to the scripture right here. Before we go to this, we want to get our beautiful talent on deck. But let me go to the scripture right here. I want to go into 2 Samuel chapter 2, and I want to pick it up at verse 1 and read down. See, a lot of you purists are going to twinge when you hear this right here. Verse 1. And it came to pass after this that David inquired of Yah, saying, shall I go up into any of the cities of Yehudah? And Yah said unto him, go up. And David said, whither shall I go up? And he said, unto Hebron. So David went up thither, and his 2 wives also, Ahinoam, the Jezreelitess, and Abigail, Nabal's wife, the Carmelite, and his men that were with him did David bring up, every man with his household, and they dwelt in the cities of Hebron. And the men of Yehudah came, and they had anointed David king over the house of Yahudah. And they told David, saying that the men of Jabesh Gilead were they that burned Saul. And David sent messengers unto the men of Jabesh Gilead, and said unto them, blessed be ye of Yah, that you have showed this kindness unto our Lord, even unto Saul, and have buried him. You see, this scripture reflects very important aspects of our culture. Family, David, 2 wives, and also the men and the community that was around him. We'll get more into that after we come back for the most beautiful that I've ever seen. And she going to be rapping on how we do it. Get ready for beautiful. Yeah, turn up, baby.
Got them haters talking. Got them tags popping. I'ma show you how we do it. Keep them bands popping. Throwing shade, all that trash talking. Ha ha, ha ha. We got them haters talking. Got them tags popping. I'ma show you how we do it. Keep them bands popping. them haters stocking. Got them tags popping. I'ma show you how we do it. Keep them bands popping. Throwing shade, all that trash talking. Ha ha, ha ha. We got them haters stocking. Got them tags popping. I'ma show you how we do it. Keep them bands popping. Throwing shade, all that trash talking. Ha ha, ha ha, ha ha. Shade popping. Ayy, understand, don't want no game popping. My dude better keep them bands popping. Ain't loyal out that slipping sliding. When I do this running, will we shining? Man, haters mugging. Swerve, why you hating? Need to learn. Got what you deserve. Getting on my nerve. 80-20 rule. I'ma show you how we do this. You better keep it moving. Yeah, yo, what we all about. That's right. Smoking loud, haters talk us out. Been driving what we care about. Booyah, in your face now. We got them haters stocking. Got them tags popping. Do it, I'ma show you how we do it. Keep them bands popping. Throwing shade, all that trash talking. Ha ha, ha ha. We got them haters stocking. Got them tags popping. Do it, I'ma show you how we do it. Keep them bands popping. Throwing shade, all that trash talking. Ha ha, ha ha. Can't afford me, got brown eyes, that black hair with a six pack. With Darian, he black with a little Tarian. With Darian, Versace, you man how he treat me. He for me, he run the street, he run with who got me. CYB, Chandra, blessings now. Shopping bags, Gucci and Chanel. 4 season 5-star hotel. Next and Rolly, can you tell? We got them haters stocking. Got them tags popping. Do it, I'ma show you how we do it. Keep them bands popping. Throwing shade, all that trash talking. Ha ha, ha ha. We got them haters stocking. Got them tags popping. Do it, I'ma show you how we do it. Keep them bands popping. Throwing shade, all that trash talking. Ha ha, ha ha. We got them haters stocking. Got them tags popping. Do it, I'ma show you how we do it. Keep them bands popping. Throwing shade, all that trash talking. Ha ha, ha ha. We got them haters stocking. Got them tags popping. Do it, I'ma show you how we do it. Keep them bands popping. Throwing shade, all that trash talking.
Yeah. Yeah, this is how we do it up in this piece right here. Comcast, baby. You know what I'm talking about? You already know this is why we love, this is why we protect the daughters of Zion, because they fine just like that. You feel me? I've always been around them. It's hey, baby, you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You know, Charlie. No. The guy, Charlie, calm down. No. Isn't it like this right here? You know, I want to come back to you, Chaco, baby, because this thing right here is something hot. It's heavy. We just saw one of the most beautiful young ladies, and the power of the flesh is really and you know, there are children watching this show right now. The children, when a young lady understands the power of the flesh, how can we fashion that? And I believe Elder Sundown mentioned the word righteousness. Have we forgotten what that means? Or can we look at because see, the Messiah, he hung out with the publicans and the sinners. And the so-called upright folks will say, well, why was he down there with the folk, the publicans and the sinners? But that was the real folks. That's who he hung.
He said he wanted to hang with the real people. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Some of them real anyway. I ain't gonna put them out. Everybody ain't real. Remember, rephrase that. Well, put it like this. Well, us women and Sundown, I hope you watching this, because we don't dress for men, we dress for us. We dress for beauty. We like fashion. Just like you like fashion, we like clothes. We like to put them on because it look good on us. That's it. We don't dress for no man, nobody. We don't dress for no sun. We don't dress for night and day. You got night, you got day. We don't dress for that. Just like you dress for the sun when it's hot, you dress when it's cold. So regardless of how you put it, cold or night, it's still, if we showing flesh, it's because we want to show it. When we was born, we came out here naked, so what's the difference? When you go to Africa, they don't wear no clothes, so what's the difference? People forgot about...
Shoot, in America, they don't have no clothes.
Yeah,
it's called a nudist colony.
Yeah.
However, continue.
But people fail to realize they forgot about that. We came in this world butt naked with no clothes on. So how you gonna sit here and say something about somebody right here? You go outside now, you might see a homeless person with no shirt on, no socks, no shoes, no nothing, but you ain't saying nothing about that. Get what I'm saying? So stop being judgmental about what you wear what you like to wear. I like what I like to wear. I like what I like. You like what you like.
Now, Chuck,
That's how it goes.
let me go, because I want to ask you, because you just came from an African wedding.
Yes,
And when I
woo.
get with, because I want to ask Mama that, because
I had fun,
most
too.
of the designs over here are not from Africa. It's all about following white women. Do you think that example is an issue of problem for the sexualizing of our children?
No, not really, because put it like this. They dress for a different culture. Their culture, our culture is different from each other. Put it like that. Everybody have their own flavor or style of how they do things. And when it comes to them and the way they dress.
Version.
Okay, the way they dress, put it like this. Just because 2 calls.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead and take the call.
All right, there you go then. Let's take a call, 770-559-2999. A couple of y'all watching, huh? Holla at us. Caller, what is your name, question, or comment? Caller.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that artist you just had on, she's tight. I think she's gonna be a star. She looks a little bit like Diamond, you know, from the Crime Mob or whatever, but she got her own thing going though, you know. She's a star. But yeah, beginning, answer the question, man. I took this time out to call and ask you a question. You don't answer the question, bro. Answer the question, man.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
You're right. You're exactly right. Let me answer that question. Thank you for your call, calling back. He mentioned about Ebola. It's not about, because we catch as catch can. It's not, we don't have to stick to the very strict topic. The issue of Ebola is certainly relevant to what we saw with AIDS, because they're both man-made diseases, viruses, something that can be spread by body fluids as well as in the air. And when I say that, when I say the air, that would be inappropriate. That hasn't been proven. But for me, AIDS hadn't been proven that it existed yet, because nobody ever dies from AIDS. They died from a complication of their immune system being compromised. Ebola is one of the most sadistic, diabolical, dastardly scientific experiments gone wild that is being used to depopulate the planet. It is being used to instill fear in the populace, and through that fear, they can direct the energy of the nation to where Europeans can ultimately install martial law, which is where they want to head. I hope that answers your question. Go ahead, caller. Next caller. Turn him up. We can't hear him in here. Yes. Okay, go ahead. All right. Mother, I just want to ask you, because, again, I want us to make sure we don't forget lost in children. Children is my primary focus. Children is going to experiment. Children do, if you have access to various parts of the body, are going to touch. Should we criminalize them like the world is doing, or should we have a council and begin to educate our children?
Well, I think all of it is helpful.
Okay.
I still think it all starts at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I still think that that's one of the primary responsibilities, which parents have several when it comes to your children. Primary responsibilities of the parent. That's where it all starts. And then, of course, when your child is at the school, go to the school, that panel at the school, which should still start with the parent to make sure that that's a proper school. I'm just not going to take my child to any school and just leave my child. I have to know about every teacher I mean, my child might go to K-5, but I want to know who's in the baby room. I want to know who's in the after-school program. You know, I walked in, I put my children in, so to speak, top-of-the-line daycare centers, and I walk in one morning. She was just an infant, and to go to the baby room, my son went to the one room, and Beautiful went to another room, but it was a man in the baby room. And I don't believe men should be changing baby pampers because babies can't talk.
I disagree with that, but go ahead.
I mean, I don't know this man.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
I accept that, but go ahead.
But I don't know this man.
I agree with you. I understand.
I mean, fine if it's her father.
Sure.
Okay.
I understand.
But I don't know this man. And she can't talk.
Right.
So
Okay.
see, that's the responsibility of a parent. Now, if the parent feel comfortable with that, that's fine. But
Right.
me, over mine, and I think for every
Very
parent,
protective.
you need to protect your own child. And I didn't feel comfortable with that surrounding.
Gotcha.
So I take mine out.
Now, are you married?
Yes.
Excellent. Let's go to the phone. 770-559-2999. Caller, what is your name, question, or comment?
This is Sundown. I got to address chocolate again. Brother, women put on clothes to attract men. Now, she can sit up there with that BS till the cows come home. I know the truth. I know the psychology of female man. Women put on clothes to attract men. They tell that lie, but they put clothes on for themselves. If they don't attract men, how in the hell they going to get a mate? So she full of crap.
Okay.
See, this is the game we play with each other, brother.
Okay.
Women want to acknowledge that they put clothes on to attract men.
Hold on.
You know, peace.
Okay. All right, Elder Sundown. Thank you for calling back. Kelly, I want to come to you because we're talking about sexualizing, but sexualizing is touching. But what about violence? Because I've seen children that have come out of violent homes and they come to community areas and they act out that violence on other children. So we not only do you have the touching, but now you got some females, and it's all on YouTube and everything. They try to promote more violence with women, putting them in the military, taking them out of the natural, put them in the corporate environment. What do you think about not only the touching, but violence that we see growing among females?
You mean females with other females or females with guys?
Period. Violence, period. It doesn't matter. Which one do you think we can help to prepare our children for? How do we do that as well? Because going out, again, even in elementary school, you have some children that are very passive and timid. You have other children that are extremely aggressive, whether it's for sexual or violence. So, again, what would be your strategy for protecting?
It's kind of hard for me to answer these questions.
Sure, I understand because
you
you're
know,
not a mother, but you don't have a perspective that gives us time, then that's no problem. Elder, go ahead and stand in the breach and educate us, sir.
The first thing I would like to do is address this issue of absolutes. You know, we have to get away from always putting a situation out there where it either has to be an either-or situation. You have to be right or I have to be wrong. We can both walk down the same path and have differing views and both be right in where we're going. For instance, the brother was saying earlier about women not always dressing for men, and Sister Chocolate is saying women dressing for themselves. Women can do both. A woman can dress for herself. That doesn't mean a man's not going to like that. She's dressed the way she wants to dress. It still excites a man.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that. Now, at the same time, if a woman dressed for a man and she likes the way she looks, the same thing. So we have to get away from this issue of being like, well, a woman is dressing for a man or she's dressing for herself and she's got to do one or the other. She can do both at the same time. You know, so this other issue we talked about in terms of men and women and being in a school and educating children. There was a situation not long ago where there was a school, and I believe it was Indianapolis, Indiana. Little babies. This woman had a daycare center. Babies. This woman was a madam. She had men coming there, these little babies. You know, a baby will put anything in their mouth.
Absolutely.
Now, so when we're talking about that, now this was a woman doing this.
Absolutely.
So when you said earlier about a man, change your baby's diaper,
That's right.
I would kill somebody if they hurt a child.
Right.
I would kill him in an instant
That's right.
and think nothing of it.
That's right.
So there are men that will be more protective
Absolutely.
of that child than a woman,
Absolutely.
given the situation. So you can't always just instantly say one or the other.
Certainly.
As far as knowing about everybody in the school, you know, people that are working jobs all day long, doing everything they got to do, come home. You don't have time to go through everybody in their school. So a lot of times you got to take the word of whatever that situation is, that, well, this is a good school, and you go on that. These wrong things happen. But you got, so, and so people, you do the best you can. Every parent doesn't have the time. You out here, you're working, it's going to work all day. Your child's in at school. You don't know what's happening when that child's at school. You think you do, but you don't know.
Exactly.
And when you they're at home and you're with your child, that's great. But the minute you're in there and you set your child in front of that TV and you're in there cooking, if that child's watching something else on TV and you don't know about it, you don't know it.
Exactly.
You think you do, you want to, but this is reality. We do not know everything. A lot of times we think we do, we want to know that, but we just don't. And that's something we have to accept.
Let me ask, hold on, sweetheart. I want to ask Kelli, because our time is running down. Do you dress for a man or a woman?
I dress for myself.
Now, in the age of sexual deviance or same-sex relationships, do you believe that that has impacted the way men and women dress?
And you said sexual.
Same-sex relationships. I said sexual deviance, which the world calls gay, which I don't accept because that's not a defined term other than having not to do with sexual relations. But what I'm asking you simply, do you believe the way you dress and other women has to do with the infusion or the more openness of the sexual deviance?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Can I ask Kelly a question?
Yes.
When you dress, I can ask all three of you ladies the same
It's
question.
all
minute.
about
Let
being
her-
a leader.
let her-
It's
go
all
ahead.
about being a leader. It's all about teaching your kids to be a leader. Don't follow. Don't be a puppet to the society.
We're about out
That's
of
what
time.
it's all about.
We
Be
should
your
have at
own.
least 4 minutes. Do we
Yeah.
have 4 minutes from my watch? But I want to make sure this is we're not. We're out. Wow. Hey, remember now your mics. Disconnect your mics. Okay, disconnect your mics.